세계 속의 대한민국, 우리나라의 아름답고 감동적인 이야기를 전합니다. 휴면톡톡입니다. 우리나라는 전 세계에서 유례가 없는 전후복구에 성공한 나라입니다. 우리나라는 단시간에 경제를 성장시켜 전쟁 이전의 상황보다 더 발전된 나라로 만들었는데요. 한 해외 매체에서 우리나라의 역사를 조명한 방송을 방영했다고 해서 내용을 가지고 왔습니다. 매체는 우크라이나의 국영방송국 1+1입니다. 현재 전쟁을 겪고 있는 우크라이나 사람들에게 한국은 어떤 눈으로 비춰지고 있는지 내용을 정리해서 소개해드리겠습니다.
Cities ravaged by the Russian invasion. Our lives and future have been destroyed by their violence. But should we give up here? Here is a country that was devastated by war in 1950. But today, it's one of the world's leading economies. That country is South Korea. South Korea was a country in abject poverty with its land ravaged by war and did not have even the most meager resources. However, 60 years later, Korea has become a global power with the world's 12th largest economy. Korea has gone through an amazingly rapid and successful technological transformation, and this is fabulous. How did Korea, once the poorest country in the world, manage to escape the clutches of poverty and achieve such astounding success? In 1945, Korea gained independence from 36 years of Japan's occupational rule, but the Korean War broke out even before they could enjoy the fruits of their newfound. Countless North and South Korean soldiers lost their lives along with another 36,000 troops from 21 foreign nations, taking a toll of some 5 million casualties. Korea was very poor, all destroyed. However, during the busy efforts of restoration, it was nothing but education, which became the nation's highest priority. Although they were struggling from day to day, Korean parents did not ignore the education of their children. Grateful for the sacrifice of their parents, children would walk for miles in order to attend school. Despite the war's devastation, the government continued to invest in education. This dedication to and investment in education produced a highly trained workforce that would later on become the impetus for Korea's economic turnaround. Unable to recover from the ruins of war on its own, Korea was forced to rely on foreign aid. But when the foreign aid subsided after completion of the major restoration work, this caused Korea's economic growth to stall. This was a dire situation for a nation whose budget relied more than 90% on foreign aid. It was at this time that the military regime came to power. Having succeeded in a military intervention, its leadership made economic development their top priority, if only to quell widespread public turmoil. In order to spur economic growth, the military regime founded the Economic Planning Board, giving it unprecedented powers for planning, allocating the budget, and for attracting foreign capital. The Economic Planning Board developed a 5-year plan, which was to be the new blueprint for economic development. In 1960, the first 5-year plan was put into action. The problem was the acquisition of funds. The miners and nurses that were dispatched to West Germany sent their earnings home, and the government was able to obtain loans by pledging these funds as collateral, while guiding the economy with policies such as rationalization of the exchange rate and interest rates. In 1964 and 1965, the government also responded to the market's demands and fostered free enterprise. The government began to invest in new industries such as steel, coal, chemicals, machinery, and shipbuilding to create a powerful engine for economic growth. The United States and the world looked upon this project with doubts, as the steel industry requires massive investment and cutting-edge technology, and a more advanced nation than Korea, at that time, had attempted this task but failed. In spite of such skepticism, the Podong Steel Mill began to produce steel in 1973. Although it entered the steel industry about 60 years later than advanced nations, Korea would soon become the world's 4th largest producer of steel. The success of this primary industry paved the way for the advancement of other steel-related industries, such as shipbuilding, automobiles, fine machinery, construction, and electronics. The new community movement is considered as one of the crucial forces in promoting the growth of the Korean industry. The people also cast off their self-doubt and gained confidence that anything was possible, which nurtured hope for a bright future. Once a movement to increase the revenue of farms, the new community movement made its way into all sectors of society, increasing social awareness in the cities, factories, and the workplaces. This showed that poverty could not be overcome through foreign aid alone, and that the true path to success lies in deeply rooted solutions that can change the core of society. This grassroots effort, coupled with a global economic boom, helped to fuel an amazing economic growth in Korea. But a crisis emerged from an unexpected source. During the two oil shocks, most other countries decreased their investment, but not Korea. For the first oil shock, Korea invested heavily in its steel, oil chemicals, machinery, and shipbuilding industries, while in response to the second oil shock, Korea boldly restructured its economy. Their strategy was right on target. Korea's export-based economy became even more competitive, and the nation's per capita (GNP) rose sharply. These achievements came after only 33 years of Korea's economic development efforts. Thanks to this success, Korea became a member of the WTO and a member of the OECD in 1996. But these successes had blinded the nation to the lurking dangers of the global economy. Quite simply, it could be said that Korea had popped the champagne cork too soon. On November 21, 1997, Korea applied for relief assistance from the IMF to the globalized environment. The Korean corporate downsizing became the order of the day, while the people of Korea, who once dreamed of joining the world's advanced countries, were burdened to share the pain. First of all, Korea recognized that it had to restructure some of its policies and some of its industries, and it did that aggressively and forcefully. It provided leadership in that it did not wait for the rest of the world to make it happen. As a result, Korea's foreign exchange reserves, which had dwindled to a mere $3.9 billion at the time of the financial crisis, surged to $99 billion. In September 2001, repayment to the IMF, which began in 1998, was completed in August 2001, with a final installment of $350 million. It was a truly moving achievement in which Korea managed to pay off the loan 3 years ahead of the deadline. During the time, Korea had escaped from dire poverty and become a world power. With global corporation, the country had to reinvent itself a number of times, while the people had to make countless sacrifices. Due to the financial crisis, in 1997, the value of currency plummeted, and the price of gold skyrocketed, but the people of Korea impressed the world by voluntarily contributing to a national goal campaign. The automobile industry is a powerful engine for economic growth in Korea. The Korean automobile industry experienced countless ups and downs, taking bitter lessons from its various difficulties. But a Korean compact auto made with the sweat of a dedicated workforce received favorable reviews in the United States in the 1980s, which served to open a new era in the Korean automotive industry that would enjoy explosive growth in the coming years. The semiconductor industry was another risky venture. It was considered a pipe dream by many because of Korea's late entry into the industry, but thanks to the aggressive support of the Korean government, Korea emerged as the world's third-ranked semiconductor producer, and succeeded in developing the state-of-the-art DRAM, which led to its global leadership in the industry. In only 10 years, Korea managed to secure a dominant share of the global market, and is currently the world leader of the semiconductor industry. Korea also attempted a revolution in the information technology industry. The cutting-edge enterprises that were founded during the IT boom provided a new stimulus to the economy, enabling Korea to become an IT power in a matter of years. Korea was one of the early countries to use the internet, and has a strong history of innovation in technology. The foresightedness of the government gave it the #1 position in broadband wire. The newfound confidence stemming from its prosperous economy has served as a stepping stone for a cultural revolution as well. Korea began to produce Korean-style music, TV dramas, and films imbued with Korean sensibilities. This started the international trend known as the Korean Wave. Until this day, the Korean economy has invested ardently in education, did not dread failure, and took on any challenge, gained confidence and success, continued to adopt innovation, and has enjoyed successful development thanks to the sacrifice of its people. As a country that was once one of the poorest nations in the world, Korea has built an economic success story from the ruins of war. Korean parents continued to send their children to school, even as they starved. In 2009, Korea joined the OECD's Development Assistance Committee. Korea has become the world's only nation among the various countries that gained independence after World War I to evolve from an aid recipient to an aid donor. The strategy and know-how of Korea's economic development from absolute poverty is now being benchmarked by many countries from all over the world. South Korea is a country that has proven that even when everything is destroyed, able to get back up. Their example is a beacon for us. Ukraine is in the same situation where we can't dream about the future because of the war, but we can do what Korea did if we pull together. As a united people, we defended our country, and now it's time to grow our country stronger.
대한민국의 발전은 결코 쉽게 얻은 결과가 아닙니다. 수많은 시련과 위기 속에서 포기하지 않고 미래를 위해 투자한 선진들의 헌신이 있었기에 가능했던 것 같습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 휴면톡톡이었습니다.